Well, good morning. So thank you very much for that very kind introduction. Delighted to be here, delighted to be back in the region of Peel. I was here on Thursday touring EnerSource, taking a look at some of the very innovative, world-leading technologies that they're implementing with respect to their grid. Delighted to be here at the Energy Matters Summit. Thank you all who have participated in putting this together. Stephen for coordinating. I know Paul Murphy from the IESO is here, one of the sponsors, one of the great coordinators. Thanks, Paul, for the work that you do and IESO does. And also to the Toronto Region Conservation Authority for their work and their initiative, the Race to Reduce, that is going to be adopted in jurisdictions other than Toronto. As Minister Oliver said, a little bit of competition is always healthy between communities and regions. I thought I'd touch on a few matters. I thought I'd touch on the experience of a young woman by the name of Simone, the equivalent of the smartphone, and jobs of the future, and try to frame our approach to a sustainable energy future through those themes. You know, on a rooftop in London, Ontario, in the spring of 2003, the then leader of the opposition, Dalton McGuinty, made a statement, said we were going to get out of coal. Relatively easy to say. I was standing there as a candidate for the upcoming election. Relatively easy to say, quite revolutionary to do. Out of coal? Well, burning coal dirties the air, and dirty air makes people sick. And that's not a hidden fact, that's quite well known. The number of smog days had been going up substantially throughout Ontario. Hundreds of thousands of people were getting sick every year from respiratory and related illnesses. And it was costing the economy, costing the taxpayers, over $4 billion in health and environmental costs. Who are the taxpayers? You are. Families and businesses in the province of Ontario. Over $4 billion directly related to the quality of our air. But it's very challenging because coal looks cheap. It looks cheap. And the states to the south of us were and continue to burn coal at a rapid rate. It looks cheap until you consider those health effects on individuals. It looks cheap until you consider the costs that are borne by pretty much the same group of families and businesses that pay energy costs. So we took a different approach. We said we were going to get out of coal, which at the time was 25% of our power source, and we were going to bring on cleaner sources of energy. And we've followed that approach. How does that relate to sustainability? Well, $4+ billion paid for by families and businesses is not being paid anymore. And the hundreds of thousands of people who were off sick were not attending work, were not as productive as they should have been or could have been, simply because of the quality of the air. That strikes at the very heart of sustainability. So we've looked for cleaner sources of energy, and in the course of doing that, have identified not only additional hydroelectric approaches, but wind, solar, and bio as part of an approach to accelerate getting out of coal. And we have launched the Green Energy and Economy Act. We're bringing on wind, solar, and bio sources. We've proceeded a long way in the last couple of years. From the depths of the worldwide recession, when nobody thought money would move anywhere, over $27 billion in investment has been attracted to the province of Ontario through the Green Energy and Economy Act. Over 30 manufacturing outfits alone have either set up or indicated they're setting up in the province of Ontario. 20,000 plus jobs directly related to that initiative. And yes, the air is getting cleaner. We're down to less than 5% of coal use. And we'll be out of coal by the end of 2014. And how does that relate to Simone? Simone is a young woman I met at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto in December. 13 years of age. Lifelong asthma sufferer. And she said, not I, she said, that when she was growing up, she couldn't walk with her friends. Not run. She couldn't walk with her friends. And every time there was an air quality issue, it was a real struggle for her to do anything. Over the past several years, she credits the work of her doctors and the nurses and the improved quality of the air with her ability not only to walk with her friends, but she joined the cross-country team at school, and she's running. Her words. There are millions of people who have breathing difficulties. Millions of people who struggle to do what I take for granted. They deserve that opportunity. They deserve the opportunity to take a breath without worrying. That's sustainability. That's the heart of sustainability. And we're doing it in a way that creates jobs in the province of Ontario. In fact, over the next 2 years, we just completed a review of the Green Energy and Economy Act. Over the next 2 years, there will be more wind, solar, and bio projects constructed and hooked up in the province of Ontario with made-in-Ontario parts by Ontario workers than there have been in the entire history of this province. That's a strong statement of sustainability. That's a strong statement of a robust green economy. That's a very strong statement for clean air in the future. But what else have we done over the past several years? I spoke of the equivalent of the smartphone. And most of you will have one, some will have two devices attached to your body. Well, you know, over the past 5 years, we've done the equivalent of going from the rotary black phone to that smartphone. We have smart meters. Oh, I know everybody likes to joke about smart meters. We have an enormously sophisticated piece of equipment attached to millions of homes. Everybody will have them by the end of this year. That collects information on minute by minute, hour by hour, daily usage in all sorts of situations. We have all of that information now. The only thing we haven't done is provide the instruction manual to families and businesses on how you can use that information not only to reduce your use, but to save money. We have that information, and over the next several months, we're going to be working with our energy partners and finding ways to get that information to families and businesses so that you can better manage your use, you can shift the use to where it's less expensive, you can decide how to conserve, and you can save money. That is an enormously powerful database that's sitting there and is about to be unleashed. Already we've seen examples of how families are shifting their use, are turning it off, are minimizing their use, and saving significant amounts of money. Significant amounts of money. So we're looking for opportunities to use that information to the benefit of the people and the businesses from whom it's been collected. Very, very powerful tool. And that's attracted the attention of the world. It was about 6 weeks ago that 16 international journalists came to take a look at what is happening in the province of Ontario in smart meters, smart grid, storage, and related technology. There is a lot happening in this province. The smart meters, smart grid technology, very powerful in terms of allowing families and businesses to reduce their use, shift their use. Also important in enabling the system to better manage the amount of energy. If we can better manage the overall amount of energy, we don't have to construct as much for those peak days. And today might be one of those peak days, where everybody wants the air conditioning running at full blast. But if you can better manage it, you don't need the expensive peaking capacity. That saves the system money. Smart grid technology can enable us to identify breaks in the line long before they're reported, to reroute power long before the line specialists have to go out and do that, to shift power so that lines are not overloaded and don't run the risk of breaking down. It's enormously powerful. And we're leaders. Other jurisdictions speak about the opportunities. They're already being implemented here in the province of Ontario. We're taking a look at how they work. We're becoming the leaders in the development of the systems, in the development of the grids, in the use of the meters. And being leaders means that we have the first opportunity to save, the first opportunity to shape that technology so that it can work for our businesses and our families. And you can all calculate the energy savings that can reduce and can flow from that. Great opportunities. Of course, the ultimate saving is not having to use it at all. Any that you don't use, you absolutely save. And we're working with many of you, and we'll continue to work on finding ways that people don't need to use the energy that historically they have. Relatively simple approaches. After the blackout in 2003, and I like air conditioning, my wife decided that we would no longer have the air conditioning on most days in the summer. So I negotiate every summer for 4 days when I can actually run it for a few hours. And in between, we use what we used to use. Windows open at night, fans going, blinds closed. It's not for everybody, I know. It's not for those who may be shut in, I know. But there are a lot of very simple approaches to saving money. In the business sphere, one of the great potential opportunities is in storage. If we can store the power that is cheaper at night for use for commercial enterprise during the day, it's a huge opportunity to change the cost approach and cost structure. And there are a lot of different hour-by-hour cost structures or storage initiatives that are being developed in universities, other research centers. And they will combine with the innovative approaches to the smart grid, such as the GE Smart Grid Innovation Center up in Markham, funded through our Smart Grid Fund. And they will present, within a very short period of time, I suspect, very important opportunities for families and businesses to save money, reduce the use, shift the use to less expensive times. And where does this lead to the jobs of the future? People often ask me, well, where are the jobs of the future going to come from? Because part of sustainability is that we have a strong and vibrant economy. Energy has always been at the foundation of that economy. Energy has always been reliability and affordability have always been at the heart of a strong economy. Well, I spoke about the business opportunities that wind, solar, bio have already presented in the province of Ontario. Minister Duguid and I launched an export strategy just about a month ago. We want energy manufacturers, innovators, not just to serve the market of the province of Ontario, it's 13.5 million people, but to do what we've traditionally done with products in Ontario, develop them here, perfect them here, make them here, and sell them to the world. The worldwide market for clean technology of all sorts, including energy, is going to be well over $1 trillion in 2020. Now, I don't actually have $1 trillion. Not sure I know what $1 trillion looks like, but I know I want a piece of $1 trillion. We're leading now in energy. We're leading in smart grids, smart solutions. We've got some very innovative projects in storage. We've got the smart meter and the related systems that are being developed. There's no reason why we can't use that leadership, use what's already going on, rely on the credibility that we have because we're actually involved in green energy. Can't sell anything to anybody unless you believe in it yourself. Use that leadership to continue to innovate, develop, research, manufacture, perfect those systems, make them here in the province of Ontario, and sell them to the world. The world's going greener. And we want to be leaders, not followers, because there are no jobs for followers. So you ask me where the jobs of the future are? Well, they're in that trillion-plus market in clean technology. And we have a leadership position right here in the province of Ontario. A leadership position because we decided, and many have decided for years, the government of Ontario took a leadership position through Premier McGuinty to get out of coal, to clean up the air, to give people a chance at the breath that I take for granted, in the depths of the recession, to build a strong economy at the same time we get out of coal, and to catch on the opportunity that smart grid, smart meter, smart solutions, storage, and the related solutions present for the world economy. It is all about sustainability. And it's all about that age-old Ontario principle, where you perfect energy. You use it as part of the foundation. And on that strong foundation, you can develop not only a strong economy here, but a strong economy that can serve the world in so many ways. I am looking forward to the advice and the ideas that come out of this conference. I'm looking forward to the opportunities that you in all of your different areas come up with for saving your business or enterprise money, saving your institution money, how we can work together to collaborate on that. I think this is an enormously exciting time for energy policy and practice in Ontario and throughout the world. We have a leadership in Ontario in green. We're determined to maintain it and determined to use that to the benefit of the people of the province of Ontario. Thank you very much for the opportunity and look forward to the results of the summit.